outside the wall, so I'm telling you, it's not easy to be where I'm at now. But
you got past the moat with the alligators.
Yes, man, and that's not easy. I've been through it all in this game, from being blackballed, talked about, said I couldn't rap, said I couldn't do this and shit like that, and I never let nothing discourage me because I know what I wanted to do and where I need.
This is the story of how 50 Cent threatened to buy an entire building just to win a beef. Mid-December 2025 brought an escalation nobody saw coming when 50 announced his intention to purchase both the studio space where Jim Jones films his podcast and a 50% stake in the show itself. Headlines have been swirling about Camron's supposed reaction to all of this, but the real story turns out to be far more complicated than most outlets are letting on. Before we get into who said what and when they said it, you need to understand the players involved here and why this conflict runs almost 20 years deep. This dispute moved beyond podcast drama a long time ago, and what you're actually witnessing unfold involves loyalty, betrayal, and fractures that have never fully healed.
Nah, nigga, my city is gone, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So your request was not uncalled for, even though you got an advance. It was a catastrophic situation that happened.
The show that sparked this entire situation goes by the name Let's Rap About It, and it launched on September 22nd of 2025 with 4 New York hip-hop veterans behind the microphones. Jim Jones, Maino, Fabulous, and Dave East joined forces as co-hosts, with production handled by IFC, which stands for Intellectual Factory of Content. Distribution covers Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube through the IFC Factory channel. Their format keeps things straightforward, with the 4 hosts sitting down to break apart trending topics, industry beefs, viral moments, and cultural commentary with what they describe as an unfiltered and unapologetic approach. Audience reception tells the story pretty clearly, as the show pulled a 4.9 out of 5 rating on Apple Podcasts from over 100 reviews. Season 1 wrapped up 12 episodes by late December 2025, and everything appeared to be running smoothly up until the hosts decided to share their thoughts about a certain Netflix documentary.
Brother, that's how I felt about it. I was like, say, bro, you just gave me an advance, but this situation, I just not to soften it up, but I don't think he understood the detrimental situation of Katrina at the moment, you dig? Because when I told him to help me.
Here's where the whole situation goes sideways. 50 Cent dropped his Netflix docuseries Sean Combs' The Reckoning in December 2025, a documentary focused on Diddy that generated plenty of conversation throughout the hip-hop community. During an episode of Let's Rap About It, Jim Jones weighed in without holding anything back. His exact words cut deep when he stated, "You don't want nobody doing a documentary trying to make your whole character look weak. That's petty behavior. It's really not a documentary. It's more like a mockumentary." That word mockumentary landed like a punch. Anyone familiar with 50 Cent's reputation knows he lets nothing slide, especially not criticism from Jim Jones, and calling his documentary project a mockumentary guaranteed a response would follow. December 16th, 2025, 3:04 p.m. Pacific Time, and 50 Cent unleashed everything on Instagram. His post read, "I didn't have this on my list of things to do, but if you insist, I'll make time. I'm working on buying the space where you film, and 50% of your podcast, you know I don't cap." That threat deserves a moment to sink in. No diss track came out, no standard social media back and forth materialized. Instead, 50 Cent announced his intention to become Jim Jones' landlord and business partner simultaneously, which represents an entirely different category of pettiness. And that's when he kept going. Another post called out the podcast host directly with the words, "These guys are squatters. They owe $250,000 for the space they are filming their podcast. These bums are trying to win Best Dressed Award and can't pay their bills." The threat to buy the building, combined with public claims of $250,000 in unpaid rent and labels like squatters and bums, meant this situation accelerated from calm to chaos within hours.
You just gotta run through it, man. Fuck what people say. Embrace failure. And 2, 3, 4 losses that I had, that shit gave me the fire to come back and learned a lot about me. You have to learn from your failures and stay consistent.
2 days passed, and on December 18th, 50 Cent pushed things even harder by posting what he claimed was audio recorded from Jim Jones's landlord. The alleged recording features someone claiming the podcast owes somewhere between $80,000 and $180,000 in back rent. The caption 50 attached read, "I don't know why these people start with me. If I wasn't me, I would leave me alone. Get your business together, guys." An important caveat needs mentioning here, though. Complex pointed out that 50 Cent's track record includes sharing AI-generated content and doctored images during his various feuds, which means verifying whether this audio actually exists as genuine remains impossible. These financial accusations stand as unverified allegations at this point. Authenticity of the recording aside, the damage to public perception already landed. 50 successfully flipped the entire narrative from defending his documentary to exposing what he claims represent Jim Jones' financial troubles. Maino refused to let 50 Cent drag him and his podcast without pushing back, and his clapback got personal fast. His Instagram post announced, "Meet Killer Curly, ladies and gentlemen. He helped me get my record deal before, so I'm always gonna be grateful. So it's gonna hurt me to drag this man to hell." What's the problem, Curtis? What has your G-Unit G-string in a bunch? Is it the E or the diabetes? But let's rap about it. A doctored image of 50 Cent sporting long curly hair accompanied the post, earning the nickname Killer Curly. True to his personality, Maino also dropped a video joking about the squatters accusation, where he announced, "We out here squatting." TMZ caught up with Maino to ask about 50's threat regarding buying half the podcast, and his response came direct. He stated, "If you're gonna buy half the podcast, I'm the person you need to see about that. I'm the guy." What came next proved even more interesting, though. Maino acknowledged something most people already suspected when he admitted beefing with 50 is good business. Numbers is up, podcast is up, engagement is up. That admission captures something real about feuding with 50 Cent. Getting dragged through the mud on social media becomes almost inevitable, but massive attention follows that exposure wherever it goes. Maino clearly understood this dynamic and positioned himself to benefit from the chaos. The response from Jim Jones landed more indirectly than what Maino offered.
I'ma say this, man. Beefing with 50 is good business. Numbers is up, podcast is up, engagement is up. Beefing with 50, I wish I would have known this a long time ago. We could go a couple more rounds.
No way!
100%. But he said he wanted to buy half the podcast. Now I'm saying if you want to buy half the podcast, I'm the person you need to see.
December 18th brought an Instagram story post reading, "Imagine you hating on someone and they just keep winning. Wake up, goofies." This approach fits Jim Jones' typical playbook. Rather than confronting the financial allegations or addressing the buyout threats head-on, he framed the entire situation as haters attempting to tear him down while his success continues building. An unexpected turn arrived here. December 17th, just 24 hours after his initial threats dropped, 50 Cent posted again with a completely different tone. His words read, "So Jim wired the 200K over. Okay, cool, he may turn out to be a good tenant after all. Samuel, if you need me to make them pay, just give me a ring, I'm here." According to 50 Cent's account, Jim Jones sent $200,000 in back rent after those threats went public. I want to make something clear here, though. This represents what 50 claims happened without independent verification of any actual payment taking place. If the story holds true, that means 50's social media offensive actually worked. He threatened to buy the building, exposed alleged financial issues, and Jim Jones supposedly paid up within a single day. That level of influence remains something most people can only imagine possessing. Here's where addressing the elephant in the room becomes necessary. Headlines everywhere have focused on Camron's reaction to this situation, but the reality looks different from what those stories suggest. Camron never actually responded to the December 2025 podcast threat directly. Good reason exists for that silence too. Let's Rap About It belongs to Jim Jones, Maino, Fabulous, and Dave East, and Camron holds no connection to it whatsoever. His own podcast, It Is What It Is, runs separately with Maze and Stat Baby as his co-hosts. But here's the thing most people miss entirely. Camron and 50 Cent actually share the same side now and stand aligned against Jim Jones together. Their reconciliation happened back in 2016, when they posted photos together from 50's office, and things have only strengthened since. June 2024 brought them together on stage at Dry's in Las Vegas for a joint performance. September 2024 brought news that 50 Cent acquired the rights to the paid-in-full TV series with Camron attached as an executive producer. December 2024 featured 50 appearing on Camron's Talk with Flea show specifically to discuss Jim Jones' betrayal from 2007. When 50 Cent attacks Jim Jones publicly, Camron feels no pressure to defend his former Dipset teammate, especially considering his own unresolved issues with Jim Jones. No direct response came from Camron regarding the specific December 2025 incident, but January 2025 brought plenty of commentary about Jim Jones on his It Is What It Is podcast. Those remarks provide serious context for why Camron stands nowhere near Jim's defense. His words on the January 13th episode hit hard. "You're a guardian angel and designer. You are from the Bronx, bro. You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, my man."
Capo. Yeah. We out here squatting.
More followed when he stated, "I never needed nowhere to stay. You act like people were on your couch. You were a fan. You begged us. You were a fan. We didn't grow up with you." Particularly harsh commentary came next. "We taught you how to rap, how you ran the whole organization, how you made diplomats. You ain't made none of this. You were a fan." Camron even announced, "This is going to be the last time I address this. I'm not doing this every 7, 8, 9, 10 years." That tension between Camron and Jim Jones clearly runs deep and stretches back years. When 50 Cent attacks Jim Jones publicly, Camron possesses zero motivation to intervene on his former partner's behalf. Understanding why all of this keeps happening requires going back to 2007, the year the 50 Cent versus Dipset beef originally ignited. February 2007 brought 50 Cent onto Hot 97, where he insulted Coke Records, which happened to be where Jim Jones had just signed his deal. The comment landed as a direct shot. Diss tracks followed in rapid succession, with 50 Cent dropping funeral music and Camron firing back with a track called Curtis. And that's when the moment arrived that changed everything. During this active beef, Jim Jones and Juelz Santana appeared on stage with 50 Cent and posed for photos with the guy actively feuding with their Dipset crew. 50 Cent admitted later that this entire scene represented a deliberate move he called a checkmate, orchestrated specifically to fracture Dipset from the inside. The plan worked exactly as intended. That moment never left anyone's memory. Camron and supporters throughout Dipset viewed the appearance as straight betrayal. And while periods of reconciliation have come and gone over the years, that underlying tension never fully dissolved. 2016 brought something unexpected when 50 Cent and Camron officially reconciled with photos posted from 50's office. Former rivals became allies. But notably absent from this reconciliation was Jim Jones. The relationship between 50 Cent and Camron only strengthened from there. Joint performances followed, business ventures launched together. Both continued taking shots at Jim Jones on separate occasions. Fairness requires acknowledging that Jim Jones hasn't stayed quiet about this ongoing conflict. February 2025 brought him onto The Breakfast Club, where he called 50 Cent a sucker and issued a challenge for a $10 million boxing match. His own perspective on that original 2007 incident where he appeared alongside 50 Cent has emerged in various forms over the years, though the damage to his relationship with Camron appears permanent at this stage. Late December 2025 brings us to the current situation with several threads still unresolved. 50 Cent claims Jim Jones wired $200,000 in back rent following his threats, commenting that Jim may turn out to be a good tenant after all. Jim Jones and Maino have pushed forward with their podcast regardless, even releasing episode 12 under the title Squatters in Action around December 24th of 2025.
We not making our podcast not going. We don't talk about people. We take things and internalize it. But at the same time, I'm not trying to walk nothing down. Like if it's smoke, it's smoke.
All right, man.
If you shooting and you saying they and these guys and you got a picture and I'm in a picture, I'm shooting back and it's with whoever.
Leaning into the controversy and using it to generate buzz clearly became their strategy. Maino's acknowledgement that beef equals good business reflects in the numbers he described as up across the board for the podcast and engagement. Whatever criticism exists, his honesty about capitalizing on the situation deserves recognition. The business partnership between 50 Cent and Camron continues moving forward on the paid-in-full TV series while they remain aligned in their position against Jim Jones. Whether 50 Cent actually intends to follow through on buying the building or acquiring a podcast stake remains unclear. Media outlets split on this question, with TMZ reporting that fans couldn't determine if 50 was serious or just enjoying himself on social media. Complex described the threat as presumably a joking one, but you never know with 50. That uncertainty captures something essential about 50 Cent's approach. Surprises have come from him before, and moves that seemed like jokes until they actually happened define his track record. This whole situation might amount to nothing more than social media trolling, but nobody would express shock if 50 actually followed through on every threat he made. The full picture looks like this. 50 Cent threatened to buy the building and the podcast after Jim Jones called his documentary a mockumentary. Maino pushed back with jokes and personal attacks. Alleged landlord audio leaked to the public. Jim Jones supposedly wired $200,000. Through all of it, Camron stayed completely out of the situation because he and 50 Cent occupy the same team now. What this really reveals goes beyond a simple podcast beef. A single moment from 2007, when Jim Jones appeared on stage with 50 Cent during the Dipset beef, created fractures that remain unhealed nearly 20 years later. Camron remembers that moment. 50 Cent remembers that moment. And they've clearly discovered common ground in their shared grievances with Jim Jones. Whether 50 Cent actually purchases that building remains unknown. One thing stays certain. This beef sits nowhere near its conclusion. And knowing 50 Cent, whatever comes next, will probably entertain everyone watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments about this whole situation. Has 50 Cent pushed things too far? Or does Jim Jones deserve what's coming after calling the documentary a mockumentary? Let me know below, and subscribe if you want updates on how this all unfolds.